up, man? Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome. Hope all y'all are doing well. All right. I don't got my stand tonight, so but hold on. I did want to invite somebody on here. Oops, my bad. All right, how's everyone doing? This is probably going to be the least viewed video I have, um, because as you can see the topic, I know a lot of people don't want to talk or you know don't want to share what's really going on, but I think we're at a point where we kind of have to talk about it, um, because lives, what I've been seeing, and it's been weird. But before we really get started, I want to shout out Lavinus, who had surgery today on her neck, which is crazy. Speedy recovery, Lavinus. We love you. Um, we wish you well. Um, wish you well. Wish you speedy recovery. All right. I didn't tell him I wanted him on the show, but this is something that I didn't plan on doing the show tonight. But um, the way things are going this month, I didn't want to miss this month. I am going to do a show Saturday, and I think I'll have a guest. Let me. Um, he kind of upset with me, but we're gonna see. because I do want to recap the OG versus Youngins tournament this weekend. Um, and let me tell you something too. I keep saying this, but unless I'm looking for a message or looking for somebody to message me, I am never really on Messenger. Um, so your best bet is to hit me up on Messenger and ask me for my phone number if you don't have my number. That's your best bet because Messenger is tough. It's tough. It's tough to do Messenger. Um, it's a lot of scams, so I'm not really on there a lot. People add me to a bunch of groups on Messenger, so it is like so. I had to mute Messenger. I had to do a lot with Messenger. Be like far as muting because it's just a lot. It's a lot. So, but yeah, I want to wish her a speedy recovery, Levinus. Um, Shout out to everyone. I'm not gonna do a recap. I'm gonna do the recap Saturday. Um, I'm gonna do the recap Saturday. But I think it is very, very important to speak about what I'm about to speak about um, with mental health with men. Over the weekend, for those of you who don't know, because it was not on the news, which was very rare, very weird that it wasn't on the news, but a man jumped off of Spaghetti Junction in Atlanta, Georgia on Father's Day, which was crazy, um, sad, and crazy. Um, I don't even know, like, it's disheartening because you see stuff like that. You see stuff like that on the news, but this time it wasn't on the news. It was on. I think I saw it on. I saw it on ATL. I forgot what it's called. It tells you everything that's going on in Georgia and Atlanta. Forgot what that site is called. ATL Scoop. I think it is ATL Scoop. I saw it on ATL Scoop, and a couple of people was talking about it. It was a lot of traffic that day. Somebody was asking, was it on the news? And I found it weird. And I started searching the news, the local news site, and the Facebook page and stuff like that. And it was not on the local news, which is weird that something like that didn't make the news. But something I do want to talk about because I had a slight conversation today with Garland. And talking to Garland today, Garland asked me a question. And well, first Garland said he told me he was going to be in the building on the 29th. For those of you who don't know, the 29th, the Sunday, is the roll off for team rankings, and it is happening in Conyers. It will be Dilly Daff versus High Caliber, and then the winner will play in the championship against the Outsiders. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Um, but Garland called me. He texted me, and he said, "Hey, brother, I'm just to let you know I'm gonna be in the building supporting on the 29th." And I was this close, this close to texting him, "What's the 29th?" Because I'm not gonna lie to you, that's how mentally I'm out of it. Um, at first, I didn't know what he was talking about, but then I remembered, oh snap, that's the roll off. And then I told him, I said, "Oh man, homie, I almost forgot about it." I said, I almost asked you what was it, and He asked me a simple question. He said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Tired of lying. I'm not all right." I said, "But you know us. Regardless if we're all right or not, we got to keep pushing." Um, and that sat with me all day. Sat with me all day. Because one question that I'm tired of answering. What up, Darren? I just sent you a text, Darren. I hope that was you I sent the text to. Um, if I didn't, check your messenger, Darren, because I think I sent you a text. I mean, I think I sent you a text on the number that you gave me, but just in case, I'm going to send it to your messenger too. Where's my. Yeah, my comments ain't coming up. I don't know why. But yeah, check your phone, Darren. Because I would love to include you in this conversation. Um, but yeah, Garland asked me, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I told him, "No, I am not okay. I haven't been okay for a long time, very long time. Um, it's been about 2 years since I've been okay. Um, not gonna lie, uh, I saw Darren's post, um, and when I saw Darren's post, what up, Tone? My man, homeboy from high school. What up, Tone? Miss you, big bro. Um, but when I saw Darren post, all right, here we go. My brother. Oh, wrong person. I'm at. Get this invisible person off. All right, there we go. All right, how you doing? Oh, what in the world? How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. What's happening, bro?
Man, good, good, good. I'm glad you was able. I know this was last second, but I'm glad you was able to hop on for a second. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Your post definitely inspired this show today. Cause I didn't know when I was gonna do another show.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I didn't know. I don't think a lot of people understand. A lot of times when you're going through stuff, it's hard to be presented in front of people. It's hard, and I know in my situation, I caused it uh, because of how I put myself out there. So I know sometimes you got to put on the face, like the ladies say, you got to put on the makeup and make the face. But first and foremost, man, I want to say condolences um, to your mom. I already know losing someone close to you is never easy. You can never be prepared for it. Um, and when I saw your post, man, it touched me because so many men is walking around here in pain and we just don't see it. And I commend you, man. And I know last time I saw you, I was trying to convince you to bowl, and then I saw your post, and and I know how important this community could be, to be able to show face and get a good distraction from the normal life, because the distraction is always healthy. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that I'm so hard on this community is because I need it. I need the people. I need this to last. I need us to get along. I need us to work together to make this engine continue to run because 2 years ago, um, I went through a breakup, and a lot of people don't know this, but I'm forced to live without my kids for the first time. Like I've raised an 18-year-old. A lot of people know I have full custody of my daughter, and had two new ones. And when you go through a breakup, a lot of times as a father, we don't get many options
Right.
unless we're going to court or something. So it's like for the last 2 years, I've been dealing with, I guess, trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, what I do, what I didn't do, and and I think the biggest pain for me is I'm never going to get those answers. Um, so it's tough when you're talking about family,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then when you do ask certain questions. Um, During COVID, I went through a depression. As I keep saying, and people know, I lost my brother, my best friend, and my aunt in back months. Um, and then followed that with a breakup. And during the breakup, another
Right.
pregnancy. So it's tough. And I know one thing about it, and I would want you to speak on it too. Um, when you lose somebody, because in the midst of that, I had just came to bowling, and I had Pat, who's no longer here with us. I had Marvell, and I had Daryl, and Karan, and Dana. They were the only ones who really knew what was going on, and it was similar. That's why when I saw your post, it hit so hard because a lot of people, sometimes when you walk into a place, you don't want to be reminded of that. You want to just treat me like normal,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I think as men, um, I think we need to start
Nope.
talking about this more because I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of y'all, and you know this, when I greet y'all, I hug y'all, and it's not because I am happy to see you, but it's
Yeah.
it's it's really because I need a hug, and it's tough. So if you could speak on what the community has been for you during this process.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
well, for the most part, it's it's been a lot of it's been painful for shoot, man, 5 to 7 years easily. I've been dealing with it, just walking my walk, still being, what my mother wanted me to be, and that was the happy, jolly go person that she pretty much instilled in all of her kids. One of her famous sayings is, keep on keeping on. Uh, Stuff like "Don't wait for me." Live the best life. Try to make people around you better. Keep them happy. Uh, in return, you'll be happy. Um, Easier said than done, obviously. Um, but as far as what you guys have done for me, I can honestly say that you've been a blessing more than you know, no matter who it is, what it is, because most times when one is grieving, and for me, I've been, like I said, I've been going through this for a very long time, and sometimes you may know and tell, and sometimes you may not and tell that something's right or something's wrong because
Hmm.
you see it on, and you just kind of keep going just make someone else happy, even if you're in pain. So you just just out of respect for people, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
those things you just kind of say, well, I want to tell you so bad what I'm going through, and you just
Yeah.
and you you're like you're telling me this, that, and the third, and I'm like, you just don't know. But if I told you my story, you probably just be quiet. But because the respect I have for you and you telling me yours, I'm gonna listen to it. I want to
Right.
hear it, and hopefully I can help you through it. But at the same time, I'm shelter in mind from you because I have a family, an immediate family for that. So my
Mm,
immediate family, of course, they'll be the ones that bear most of my pain or whatever I'm going through. So I share that with them and close friends, so that um, you guys can, like you said, move around me normal as possible and not.
mm,
Um, and no disrespect, I love the fact that everybody's just have these genuine feelings for you. At least I feel they are when they say my condolences
right.
and things of that nature. And I feel your pain because of course, those who have lost a loved one, they can feel it, and we all do feel it differently. For myself, I mean, the truth is, man, it's like um, I just literally, I just felt moved to just tell the truth, and that is, um, you guys, meaning you bowlers, whether you know it or not, we never know what another person could be going through
Right.
while you're right there in their face. You just don't know. I mean, I did my best to keep you guys entertained, I should say, for me, because I'm just naturally a clown by
Right.
nature, and I'm that guy that I did my schoolwork, but I'll be one to get kicked out of class. I'm not gonna lie. I took school very serious, but I just had to be just a comedian for the most
Right.
part.
Right.
So, um, so with that being said, I'll have a joke or two, even at the teacher's expense or whatever the case may be. But I don't mind, just sharing my life, but some things are just, best left kept to myself and my family, just out of respect, it's so many people that, I really want to sit down and have a chat with about
Right.
this situation, but it's kind of hard to have those conversations because you don't want to bring that person down. So it puts a little strain on you. Um, there's so many times people did, man, that when I just remember, Tyrone and his situation with his mom when he went through that, and at the time, it was cancer, and his feelings towards cancer. I was torn between having those feelings for it because my mom was going through it at the same time.
Right.
And I'm sure everyone knows by now that he did lose his mom to cancer. So I'm not putting any information out that no one knows, just out of respect for him, his
Right.
but I definitely had a lot of. There was a lot of times where I just wanted to come up to him and just have that conversation about it. And but again, you just don't know it if it's gonna take him over the edge or bring back those moments where he might not want to remember them. I don't
Right.
know, but I leave that up to the individual to have that discussion, and whether they want to talk about it or not. I have close friends that lost parents, um, bowlers that have lost parents, and during their times, if I know about it, of course, I told them just like everybody has for me, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate that. Thank you guys, those that have, you know, sent that out to me. Thank you so much. And I really do. I felt that when I read each and every last one of your posts that you guys meant it. Because I know that what you can count on is a genuine me. So I'm gonna give you, what I am and who I am as a man, and you know, I'm just, just honored to say that I'm part of this voting community that, for the most part, my trail they really do care. Um,
Hmm.
they may want to beat your head in on the lanes, but they actually, a lot
Yeah.
of them do care about, our well-being. On my drive down, Tyrone, he called, and he was one of the guys I asked to sub for me, and he couldn't make it. He had family in town, so but he took time out to call me and express that, what he felt for me, because he went through that,
Right.
and he knew exactly what I was feeling, because he had went through it. He just kind of just said if I needed to talk to him, obviously, like everyone else,
Right.
I'm here for you. But one of the things I can say, I'm gonna share it with you guys, that I thought was the funniest thing ever at the time. She said, my mom said something to me. It tickled me to death, man. But it was. She said it, and I believe she said it out of fear. But I don't mind sharing some of her stories with you now, obviously, because she's resting and pain free, because
Right.
she was going through pain for a very long time, and it was stuff that she just battled with, and she did it on her own, and didn't necessarily even want to be cured or fixed or anything. So it got to a point where she was tired, just tired, and that was tough, just to walk around and be around you guys, knowing what I knew, and that is that it could be any day, at any time. I didn't bother going to Vegas with Christina because of that. For the most part, I don't know if I'm out there. That was going to be the time. We
Yeah.
knew it was coming. We didn't know when. So many plans were made to try to, do this, that, and the third before that. But
That's heavy.
um, she has expressed that it's one of the things where people always say that that she'll be with you in spirit, and I don't take it lightly. But Maggie Jean, that's her name. Okay, so and I'll just say I say mom a lot growing up, and then as I got older, I say Maggie Jean because she liked it. So I just say Maggie Jean. Maggie Jean, Maggie Jean told me one time, she said, and don't judge her, y'all, because she just, sometimes she can say what she want to say. When she said, and when she got, when they get older, man, they'll say what the hell on
Oh
the
yeah,
line,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They don't care. They don't care who feelings they hurt either when they say
No,
it.
if it's on my heart, I'm gonna say
Man,
it.
yeah, exactly. If it hurts you, just deal with it. Grow up, be a man, shut up, whatever.
Right.
They'll just say it. But Amon said, I know when I go, they're gonna tell you she's with you in spirit. And she said, and I swear, man, y'all, it took me to death, because she said, I don't know what the hell gonna happen. But after I die, I don't know what the hell gonna happen. But if I can be there, I'll be there. So you can feel that I'm gonna be there, but I don't know. I hope what we believe in spirit is that we are there in an out of body spirit. But she said, I don't know anybody came back to tell me that I was there with you. So I want you to know, if something feels, you know, right, or you were led this way, then we can just say I was there with you. And I said, okay, I appreciate it. I'll run with that then. But you had me freaked out for a second, like like I shouldn't believe in the afterlife, I guess. But um, I'll trust that, even today, and I'll share this with you. I was picking out her plot, and she didn't have that lined up, unfortunately. So um, I was very fortunate to get it next to her mother. So that was,
Mm,
yeah, that was
that's
a
good.
win-win right there. And to be honest with you, man, I was out there, and my sister and I, we walked, and we were headed in the direction in which, where my grandfather was. I just couldn't remember where it was at the time because I was 11 years old, and so I was walking towards that direction, and I was like, well, what I'll do is I'll go this way because we got there before, and to be honest with you, that was my first time going back to his gravesite because I just didn't want to go out, to grave sites.
No,
That's
no.
just how I was. Now, what
Well,
I
I
can
understand.
say is I'm gonna grow into probably going out now because I have someone that's very close and dear to me now that's out there. So therefore, I'll probably be there as often as possible because that's the relationship we had and how close we were to each other. So I can't see myself not making that visit. But in the past, I only been to maybe three funerals, and he was one. And I was as I was 11. Obviously, I was, as a child, I had to go because that was my mom, obviously, right? So no decision on that. So I was just headed back, not knowing where his grave was, and um, I'll say, okay, this is what I do. I'll just walk to the back of the grave sites and then walk back towards the front. That way I can see as I'm coming
Right,
downhill.
right.
And as I got to his road, I was pushed to the right. I was literally pushed to the right, bro. I swear, my mind was, because if you know me, you know that I try to set plans on what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do it.
Mm.
Even with bowling, I may say I want to throw this, I may want to say I want to throw that.
Right.
But you go in and you have something set, but you got to be able to adjust. So
Right.
whatever it is. So I was set to go to the back of the rows, to the end, the last row in the back, and walk downhill. And as I got midway, I was pushed right, man, just push right. And I made that move to the right, altering what I was doing, and there he was. So I guess it's safe for me to say that was a moment where she was there or he was there. Somebody was there because my mind was made up to walk forward, and I made my right turn instead.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Uh,
I was just reflecting on that situation. Again, like I said, I was just headed in the direction that I thought was the best suited direction.
yeah, that, yeah, it's, I think, and you said a couple of things that struck a chord, and it's sad that we as men can go. I don't think people realize because we're first of all, I don't think y'all know or understand the legend that Darren is. First of all, let me let y'all know. Before I even met Darren, I've heard plenty of football stories because my peoples played football with Darren. Then I heard plenty of bowling stories. So as soon as they found out I was bowling, everybody wanted to know that I know Darren. And Darren was like a bash brother out there for, from what I hear. So I think as men, I think you said you didn't want to be a burden on people. And it's crazy as a man how much we think alike in the sense of we understand that everybody has problems also. But we're willing to put our own problems on the back burner just to, not to bring down somebody else's day or to let somebody else have their moment if they're going through it, no matter what we're going through. And it's a blessing and a curse
Yeah,
because because we gotta get this out. We gotta get this out, and it's tough because before I decided to do the show today, like I said, I've been going through it, and I was just looking into my phone, and I was like, "Damn, who can I even talk to?" Like, and I'm looking at the time, and in my mind, I'm thinking, "Well, oh, they got kids. They're probably getting the kids ready. Oh,
yeah,
they got, they wife. Oh, I don't want their wife to get upset. Me calling this late, or." I don't want. Oh, it's the end of the day. I don't want to have somebody go to sleep on this, you know. And it's crazy how we don't still don't feel comfortable enough to let that go and be like, yo, my dog, I need to shed a few tears. Like I need to get this out.
Man, I
And it's
cry every
and
day, bro.
yeah, and it's not the fact that we don't have anybody to say
Yeah.
per se. It's just it's just the way we are wired on survival is if I'm the head of the household, everybody, hey, whether, hey, we already know whoever died yesterday, power bill, the rent, car note, car insurance, electric,
Coming.
they not stopping.
Nah, they coming.
They not stopping. So it's I kind of applaud women sometimes because women will get it out. They got friends they could call 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Now don't get it twisted. Let it been a game on tonight. Hey Darren, I would go. Hey man, what you? Me and Dave will talk all day about sports, but we'll be too afraid to talk to each other about how we feeling inside. And it's we'll use okay, he got my mind off it for a little bit, was able to
Yeah.
talk about the game, but that ain't really enough. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to have
Well,
these
you know what?
sessions where we
Well,
getting our
Trail,
feelings out. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
what I found it easy to do. Uh, One of my coping mechanisms was I I I I drive to work, man, and you know that's one of the first things I do is reflect, and that's where all my tears kind of came out at. You know what I'm saying? Like on my way
Hmm.
to work, maybe on the way home from work, and I may even have a little talk. I'm not gonna answer, but I'm having that talk. I'm getting it out,
Yeah.
and for me to say, it's like because you're trying to, you feel your pain and you want to talk to a loved one, but you don't want to bring them down, and you just like,
Hmm.
you got that, you know, I trust all my friends, I really do, and people I consider my friends, I do, I trust them, and I can tell them this stuff, and it's like you still want them to handle you the way they would handle you if nothing was
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the key. That's the key to what you're talking about now, where it's like you compartmentalize, what you want to share and what you want to let out. So you hold it in and you let it out in your private moments. But then sometimes that's just not enough,
Yeah.
you know. And for me, my outlet was her for the most part, And I would call her, she would say, "It's okay to cry, son," And then I would think about it, and I would just cry,
Hmm.
and then she would say, "Okay, let it out. Now you got me crying," and I said, "Okay." So then I'll stop. Oh no, I just because again I could tap into that, like you said, that tough mode of okay, I don't want nobody to see me cry, so okay, I'll stop. But at the end of the day, um, it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to
Yeah.
let it out because at the end of the day, you want to be able to relieve yourself of that pain that you have inside. And there were plenty of times that I can honestly say that you may have seen it in the bowling alley. I don't know. I could think of. I tell you what. The most recent time that I had a moment where I didn't care where I was, and it was in Augusta. If anybody's watching that was there, they'll know, they could tell you that probably was one time that you literally saw the tears in public. It was, admitted to the hospital while I was bowling, and my sister called, and it's just kind of it was one of those like, is this that time
Yeah,
moment? Because yeah, that one that scared me honestly, because that's what made it hard to travel mostly,
yeah.
was because I don't want to miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, if I need to drop what I'm doing to get there, I would be able to do it easier without messing up what someone else has,
Yeah.
you know, paid to do or whatever. That's what makes it
Once
hard with
again, we
what
were
we
be in the
do
middle of
with
stuff.
sports,
Once again, we
because
in the middle of the
we
stuff, waiting for everybody, or caring about everybody else but ourselves.
yes, yeah, we putting everybody first and being selfless, and that's I find that to be, unfortunately, not a lot of people, care about others first
Yeah.
before themselves, and that's unfortunate. But we are who we are as people. We're gonna be different. Um, a lot of times, I put people before myself, and I do, and it's a curse. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. But I just how I was raised, man. Like I got so I was fortunate enough to have voicemails from my mother that I listen to. I have a morning one that I listen to. I have an evening one that I listen to. Um, she's had ones where she say, it's your mom. I can use some encouragement, things like that.
Mm.
Where I may have missed that call, and I call back. We play phone tag a lot, just to be honest with you. Um, but that's because she just didn't want to be bothered a lot. But we left messages. We left messages, and that way we was able to hear each other's voice in that time of the whatever it was that was calling for. Um, but like I said, it is okay to have a shoulder to cry on as a man, because I'm gonna tell you right now, there are plenty of times I may have been in my vehicle, just boo-hooing, pulling up to the next car, and they might not know what the hell going on, but they can tell you right now that dude right there probably sad because he crying.
Yeah.
Again,
And I don't know what
you
it
don't
is
know
about grocery stores. It's always a grocery store for me.
a grocery store for you.
Yeah, like I'm always breaking down in the grocery store. Like
Oh man,
I don't know what it is. Like I go in the grocery
yeah,
store and it's just, and I think maybe because
that's
it's a lot of the times when I'm in the grocery store, I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking,
yeah,
what can they get? What can I get? What was grandma's recipe? What do I want to eat? Like I don't know. For me, it's the grocery store. Like
man, yeah.
Publix is, yeah. Publix
It's
definitely had to
traffic, and
had to mop some aisles because of me. And I'm talking like
that's
full fledged people asking, "Hey, sir, you all right?" Like I'm talking
yeah,
like while
that's
shopping,
good.
and it's crazy because, like you said, you trying to be strong not only for your family but just for the people around you, just so they're not uncomfortable. And you're so selfless that like it starts to, for me, um, it starts to turn to anger. Because my situation, with be quite honest with you, when I lost them, it was like I have not been right since. As far as the relationship with my oldest daughter, relationship with my mom. Um, Before my grandmother passed, I can't remember not speaking a day without speaking to my mom. Um, and then once my grandmother passed, we have these spats as in now, and it hurts um, because I see people like you, um, who, Tyrone, you lost your mom, and I'm yearning for a relationship with mine. Um, I don't know if losing her mom had, effect on our relationship, but it's tough because I didn't grow up with my father. You know, I do have
Right.
siblings, but I didn't grow up with them. I didn't know them until 22, so I'm still figuring out how to be a brother, how to call on them, you know, for certain
Right.
things.
Yeah.
And then when my grandmother passed, like I had my daughter, so that was a distraction, you know, but now my kid's not here, it's empty. So it's like I'm just here with my thoughts. And it's it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough
You
because
can let it out.
like I I do a lot of Uber,
Yeah.
Instacart, stuff like that, just to
Right.
do something.
Right.
Um, like, cause I can't sit still, cause it's
Yeah.
dangerous. You know, it's dangerous.
Right.
So, like, when I saw your posts, and it's like, I beg for this community to get along better than what we have, because, like, someone like me, I moved out here because, you know, I had to get away. Like, a lot of people grew up with family. I didn't. I grew up with a family, but I didn't grow up with that family aspect. Like it was just me and my
Right.
mom and my grandmother.
Right.
So like we had family, come from a large family, but it was just us, which ended up growing to now is just me.
Yeah.
So without my kids, man, and then it's, you know, it's hurtful in today's generation being in relationships, because relationships at my age and nowadays, everybody is just protecting themselves. Everybody's afraid of getting played. So when you show emotions, it's you can, people use it against you, or you know what I'm saying. Uh, like it's plenty of questions and plenty of times I asked, you know, well, what was it like? Why is it why the breakup? Like, let me know what it was, or and like one of the few answers was, oh, when you got depressed, you know, I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like,
Right.
well, you know, number one, when somebody is talking to you, like you being there is enough. There's nothing you have to do. There's no
Right.
fix. You can't bring people back from the dead. You can't make people love you. You can't
No, you
make
can't.
change other people's mind. So if
Right.
I'm talking to you, that is what I need from you. So sometimes it's just that support. But
Yeah.
there's no book on grief. Like
No.
I said,
It's not.
I've been grieving for 3 years. I've been grieving longer than that, since 2009 when my grandmother passed. I've been grieving that long.
Yeah.
And I don't I don't be around my family so much that when I do be around my family, only thing they can talk about is my grandmother.
Right.
You know, and that's not easy. You know, and then my brother, oh my gosh, you got so many questions of why. He was the
Yeah.
youngest one out of us. So when this the baby boy that's supposed to outlive all of us,
Correct.
like it's not even
I'm
fair.
I'm gonna level with you about something though that I think this is gonna be very helpful for you, and I'm not ashamed to say this, but um, a lot of times, and this is real. This real right here, Trail. As a black man, um, I'm gonna level with you, my brother.
Hmm.
There are times when we need that uh, someone that we can talk to that is not going to judge and you,
Hmm.
will at least make you feel like they could be biased one way or another, right? 'Cause sometimes your friend gonna say what you think what they think. You know, you're gonna think like they're gonna say what you need to hear, right?
Right.
What you want to hear or something like that. But I myself, uh, I've seek counseling. the hard times um, before, and I'm sure, do it again in the future. So anyone that's listening,
Hmm.
I matter of fact, I beg of you, if you are hurting and just don't have that person that you feel that you can talk to, I beg you to seek counseling. And the reason why I say this is because, like your show is talking about right now, mental health is a serious thing, man. And it doesn't make you suicidal or anything of that nature, but talking to a stranger about it gave me the most relief. I swear to God, man,
Hmm.
I can't make this up. Just talking to someone that I know had one, they got to keep all my secrets. They can't share them.
Right.
Yeah, I talk about the craziest things to them. You know what I'm saying? I know that it stayed right there in that room, on that couch, that chair, however I chose to do it. Sit down, lay down, sat up.
Hmm.
That was the that was the best money I ever spent. You know, and that was to get that and learn more about myself and how to maneuver around you guys, was to go get that counseling, and from listening to you, my brother, and just seeing the hurt right now and how it just about came out, and it just came out, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure the people that's listening appreciate you sharing that with them. But I would like to, at least one day you text me, call me, or whatever, and just say, hey, I did, I can't tell you what to do, but I would love to hear that you said that you went out and you actually took my advice on sitting down and talking with the counselor to discuss whatever. And you may have done this already.
Yeah,
It's
and it's funny.
new.
It's funny you say this because tomorrow on my to do list is the call of VA again, and I wasn't counseling heavy. Um, I'm going to advocate this time for me to see an outside counselor
There
rather
you
than a
go.
VA counselor because I'm not gonna lie, I fell out of counseling. They
Hmm.
dropped me out of the system when they were doing a bunch of changes, and
Yeah.
the VA is tough, boy. It's tough. And the
You feel
reason
like a
why the
numb.
VA is tough right now is because like they were going through a lot of changes, and I had one lady. What was keeping me for a while was I had one lady for a long time, but then they just moved her. And when they moved her, I kind of fell out of the system because now they're doing this group therapy, which I do like group therapy. Um,
Yeah, group therapy is pretty good.
yeah, I like group therapy because group therapy is one of those things where people where there's a saying that says if you put your problems in the middle with everybody else's, you'll be running to get yours back. And group therapy kind of helps you realize, and I hate to say it like this because your problems do matter, but group therapy really helps you realize that there's some people out here with some real issues that from birth, family issues that's real deep rooted, where you be happy to grab your problems back. But it's funny because I was just talking about it today. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's been dark for a while, and I've been wanting to go back to therapy, but I don't want to keep telling the story over
Yeah.
and over and over. So that is where now I'm going to be advocating for an outside therapist for myself because I need someone that's going to stick around
Yeah.
because every day, I'm not gonna lie to you, every day is tough. Um,
Yeah. You just got to get to the root of it. You gotta dig deeper, and I do from the bottom of my heart. I'm just gonna say this, man. When you go and whoever you go with, and just got to be open and honest. You just got to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to. It's the only way you're gonna get the, get the situation. I guess I don't know if it's gonna ever be resolved, but to get a clear understanding and knowing yourself right
Yeah.
now, you just could be lost within yourself right now,
Yeah.
and to come out of it, the best thing to do is just to be open and honest with whoever it is that you're talking to. Don't hold back, because remember, they're a stranger, one, and they don't have anything to gain from whatever information you're giving them other than to see how they can help turn
Yeah.
your feelings and thoughts into better thoughts, better feelings, so on and so forth. Because what happens in the grand scheme of things is that we if we hold it in and we never get it out, then that's when the topic of your show, mental health, becomes an issue, because now we're set up for you just set yourself up to fail, in a
Yeah.
sense where I didn't do anything to help myself. I've done everything in this world to help everybody else but myself. So I just kept suppressing whatever it is I got to try to make sure you're smiling, to make sure you're happy, to make sure you're fed, to make sure you
Yeah.
got the lights on, and you got the bills paid, or whatever the case may be. So to for me, you seem like a guy that's pretty much like me. It don't take much to make you happy. Pretty much seeing everybody else happy makes you happy, right? So what we tend to do is put our feelings aside so
Oh,
that those people are happy, right? And it makes it a lot easier for us to cope with our pain, because we know that we brought joy to somebody else, right? So,
hmm
but all we did was just push our pains down. And I found it easier with that counseling to be able to get out my pain. And what I've learned from that is, my counselor at the time was very open and honest with me, and they said, "Listen, this is what I want you to do. This is exercise." And that is because at the time I was a tough guy. I just wasn't gonna cry. It's what it is. And they told me, they said, "Listen, I'm not gonna ask you to cry in front of your wife, your kids, or your family. All I need you to do is let it out." So, as I, told you earlier, a lot of my times happened when I was maybe driving to work or home from work, and the occasional event, it might just come out. 'Cause sometimes you can't control where the pain will come out at sometimes. And just like right now, even in this interview or show or whatever you want to call this, it came out of you just then and there on the spot, right? You couldn't control that. So being able to control what you talk about and be able to just say it when you want to say it is important. It needs to be said. It needs to be heard by someone else. And for you, I respect you a lot, because what I can say is you're gonna say what's on your mind, and you're gonna be respectful with it. And you're gonna let everybody know how you feel, what you think about the things that you're passionate about. And right now, that same passion that you have, Trail, you need to put it, invest into yourself, and allow you to, help you now, and go get your help. Talk to, like you said, outside of the VA, because I'm sure you probably feel like a number when you go there.
yeah.
And, let's go get that, hey, look, whoever it is, they give you their name, they'll talk to you, they'll ask you a few questions, and you just let that stuff pour out, and
Yeah.
and they'll get to the root of it, and they'll tell you what it could be, and they'll help you move forward, and give you some exercises, mental exercises to move forward. And this is to anybody that's listening,
Yeah.
honestly. If you are going through anything, I promise you, the best way to go through it is with
Counseling,
someone. And it needs to be,
therapy,
in my opinion, it's just my opinion, it shouldn't be with a loved one, because usually loved ones, they're
biased.
they're gonna give
That's it.
they're gonna give you good advice, but like you said, they're gonna be biased,
Yeah.
and it's to make you feel like you should be better right now. But
Yes,
if
because
you're talking to a stranger,
I'm gonna be honest. The hardest part. So like, like I told you, the lady who I was with toward the end, and this is like you're hitting the head on the nail. I mean, you are 330% right because when you go through counseling and you are open and honest, right now, and I'm gonna tell you what it looks like, fellas. It looks like when you are the man that everybody goes to and you start going to counseling and you start loving yourself. Because one thing about counseling is that I have to do in the morning is I have to look myself in the mirror,
Yep.
in the eye, which is very hard. And I have to say I love myself. I have to say it. And part of loving yourself is realizing that everybody who you're helping ain't helping you. And everybody that you're helping ain't for you.
Right.
And I think that's right now is what I'm dealing with. Cause
Right.
once you realize that and you get over that part, like
Mm-hmm.
it gets a little easier,
Yep.
but I had to move here because my heart was so big I couldn't say no. So I had to move here, but moving here, I'm still going through me because like I'm still trying to figure out a way to love me. And that's the hard part, man. Is when you're going
Yeah.
through this stuff and you're going through counseling and you realize how much of you let go, or in my case, how much of me I never had.
Yeah.
So I'm there for everybody. Like you said, you're there for everybody but you. Like you said, my happiness was based on people around me being happy.
Correct.
And then when you
Correct.
start to ask yourself, or when, like you said, when you go to counseling and they start to ask you, you know, what makes you happy, you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Like
The
that's
answer is
tough.
so simple. It's like seeing other people happy.
Yeah, but they're gonna tell you they're gonna be like, no, you can't. No, you can't
Exactly.
use anybody else. What do you do to make
Correct.
you happy?
What makes you happy? Yeah.
And moving here, kind of helped me be okay with being alone. And sometimes you're in rooms loud enough where you can't hear yourself cry inside, and that was
Yeah.
me. That was me. Like I had to be somewhere where I just wasn't alone. But it's as we as men, like we have to start loving ourselves. We have to start demanding the respect of our time, of our free time to do what we need to do to get us right. Whether that be go to the counseling, it should be. I recommend counseling for everybody because
Yeah. Yeah.
I can honestly say, without it, I wouldn't be here.
Oh yeah.
I can like there's no doubt in my mind. But you know, you got little ones. I got little ones. So
Yeah.
it's a tough world we live in, man. This world is crazy. This world is unforgiving.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cruel.
You have a lot of responsibility, and
Ugh.
you have to pay attention to a lot more. And in your case, I don't have little ones that you have around you, but you have to pay attention to the things that they're feeling, and
Mhm.
how they're taking in. And the weird thing about it is, don't have any kids, but I can tell you right now, man, they tend to know. It's almost like a pet, like your dog can tell when you're not,
Yeah,
the best of moods or whatever. Your kids kind of sense that too.
yeah,
I've watched, I paid attention to, my nieces and nephews and how they, were with their parents, and I just kind of know, because I knew what their parents were going through. I knew that they knew, but they
yeah,
didn't know what or how, but they just sensed it, and they would just randomly give those hugs, and I'm
yeah.
sure you probably dealt with that.
Oh man,
Just
that's the
random hug,
toughest.
and you be like, how the hell did they know, right? Because you felt like you was hiding it from them, right?
Mm,
So at the end of the day, you got to remember that just like they have those same feelings and
yep,
needs also. So you're gonna have to make sure that you're strong and continuously looking after them and making sure that they're in good places as well. And and in order to do that, you got to be in a great place with you. You know what I'm saying? So that they don't see the breakdowns, things of that nature. And the only way that can do that is if you are able to get that out. They're not the avenue. I mean, the place or the person or the spot where you're gonna do it. Obviously, no, but
yeah,
you gotta find that place and that avenue or that engine or wherever it is. And like we discussed a second ago, you're gonna get yourself a new counselor outside of the VA,
yeah.
and then
Cause that
you're gonna
was.
let.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That was one of the reasons why I stay in counseling because anybody know my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter. They're daddy's girls. They're daddy's girls, but and like you said, they used to always they're very affectionate. Everybody who knows Ari now, she always wants to be in my lap. She loves her daddy,
Yeah,
but no one talks about when you don't know how to receive that. There's like my mom wasn't affectionate. My family really wasn't. Um, I can't speak for my dad's side,
right.
but you got to get I had to get counseling for that.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
to.
me
I
too,
had to.
man.
I had to. I didn't know how to receive my daughters. Every 5 seconds they want a hug. They want to be in my lap. I had to know how to receive that. With my oldest daughter, I didn't receive it very well. You know, um, and it hurt her a lot of
Yeah,
times. Where she had
yeah,
to deal with some stuff. And I can see it now with her and her anxiety. So it's like you said, you got to be strong for these kids, man, because a lot of men, and the reason why I'm saying these things is because there's somebody watching, there's somebody that is going through the same thing and just don't know how to express it or don't know what the feeling is called, so they just erase it, or I mean they can't erase it, but they just cover it, you know. And a lot of times, yes, you have kids and the kids love you, and sometimes you may not know how to receive that love because of the pain of everything else. And like you said, counseling, man, and that's one of the reasons why I'm still here. It's like it's I'm still raising the kid in me.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you sound like you're still, like you said, you're learning yourself still, and um, you still, yeah, you're still trying to find your. It it's almost like somewhere along the path of life,
What you doing?
your identity got like sidetracked, because you just been pleasing everything and everyone else around you. It's like you
Hmm.
forgot about you and he left you behind. And he was like, wait a minute, where am I right now?
Yep.
It's like, let me look back, and I'm kind of lost, and I'm just going to continue to move the way I'm moving, and that is, okay, I'm going to make sure that you're still smiling, you're still happy, but yet
Yep.
inside, I'm like I'm lost. It's like I don't know where I want to be,
Head down.
to who I want to take care of first,
Hmm.
second, third, and I'll deal with me later. And
Right.
later becomes later, later and later and later, and then you just got lost and you don't know where you are. And so talking to that person and getting it out, you're just hoping that they can find you, and then hopefully they do, but you walk out of there sometimes like I still don't know what the hell just happened.
Yeah. And then it's
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 like,
it's too like to your point too. It's like you don't went through the whole day. Next thing you know, it's 8 o'clock. You like, dang man, what? I
yeah,
can't even recall the last 6 hours. Like I'm just going through the motions. Like I can't even recall it. You know you're gonna get me in trouble.
man. I tell you what though, I'm gonna say this, man. Um, one,
Say hi.
hey, I had seen you in a while. How you doing? Um, but I
Hey, Lavinas,
that
get well
one,
soon.
huh?
Lavinas in the comments, get well soon. She had surgery
Hey,
today.
yes, yes, yes. Prayers for you for sure. Um, another strong woman,
Supposed to be in bed.
another strong woman there. Um, man, I can say this though, Trail. You're a real good dude, man, and
I appreciate that.
I
You too.
watch how you move. I watch how you move, and a lot of times, I know we dap each other up every time we see each other, and I can honestly say that from the bottom of my heart that I can I can say that you're a genuine guy. You know what I mean? And mean it. If I tell somebody that, I'm not gonna tell somebody something I don't mean anyway. But
Right, right.
if I told somebody, hey, that's a genuine dude right there, I mean it. And to be honest with you, I when you told me who your uncle was, I already knew you was gonna be that guy, like him, because that you know and man, I respect your uncle like a mug, man. I'm telling you, that guy, he kept it real with me every single
Hmm.
time, and he showed a lot of respect and a lot of love. Um, when I first met him, and then when you walked up to me for the first time, you told me who
Hold
he
on one
was, and
second. I'm sorry. You keep
yeah.
talking. We potty training, so I gotta just
Oh
went to the
man, yeah,
bathroom.
better
Give me
handle that
one
business.
second. Come on. Okay, come on.
So yeah, it was cool to hear that
Stop.
that he was your uncle. I appreciated you introducing yourself to me, and explaining who you were, because the moment you did that, that let me know that I can definitely feel like I can trust in you. When I talk to you, and whatever you say, I probably should be able to trust that it's real, and you definitely keep it real with people, and whether it's the way they want to hear it or not, you definitely say what it is, and how it is. But at this time, I think that you you got to take care of yourself, myself too included, because a lot of times we think we're okay, we're not necessarily okay. You know, I let mine out in tears. A lot of times it's in private, um, and it's okay to let them out whenever they are. As a man, and I don't make you less of one. It's just everybody hurt, and everybody that they know how it is to hurt. Those that have hurt before, so therefore they can understand the pain, whatever it is that you may be going through, whether they know what it is or not. At least um, there's some understanding uh, there, and they can relate and empathize with you when you're going through it. My circle is it's a tight circle, but at the same time, it's because of you guys, you have made it bigger than what I'd imagine it would be, as far as just feeling like there's some genuine people out here, outside of family members.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that in my immediate family is what I hold on to a lot, and I definitely have grown to like and love a lot of you guys out there that bowl, um, more than I thought I would. Um,
Yeah, I
Honestly,
talk about them a lot, but
uh,
there's some dope people that's bowling in the bowling
yeah,
community.
yeah, man, it's really some good people, man, and what I found was bowling is it's a team sport, but at the same time, it's a sport where you have to be a little selfish, in order to help your team. You
Yeah.
know, which was the same way I was when I was playing contact football, whether it was tackle, flag, or whatever the case may be. I had to be a little selfish as a team player, and what I mean by that is, if I do my part, if I make sure I do my part, then everybody else will be successful.
Right.
If I could be, and that with that being said, we got to be team players for one another, but we got to make sure we're taken care of first in order for everybody else to be happy. And
Agreed.
that's the best way to go about moving forward, and that is take care of you, and then the rest will take care of itself, because whoever's depending on you is thinking you're going to be taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you got to do that. So we need you to take care of yourself, like I need to take care of myself, and I will aim to do that. I don't know what lies ahead of me. Even with me knowing, this day was coming, I still don't know what the next day is going to be.
Yeah.
And for those that have experienced this, your experience may just be different from mine. Doesn't mean I don't love my mom, more or less than you. It just means I may have dealt with it differently, and whatever aspect, however, longer or less or whatever the case may be, you never
Hmm.
know how you're going to deal with it. And when that time comes where I feel I need to sit down and talk with someone else outside of family and friends, then I'm not gonna hesitate. I want to do that. I'm not going to be ashamed to do that. I'll come back on here and tell you guys, hey, I'm officially in counseling again, uh, because it's very important. Um, so, guys, at the end of the day, it's not about being tough or whatever the case may be, because to me, um, getting it off your chest is that's the strongest thing you can do, honestly.
Yeah, that's step one.
Um, that's just real. I mean, because you holding it in, that don't make you tough. Getting
Nah.
it out is harder than holding it in. Holding it in
Yeah.
is real easy. It's getting it out. That's where I could measure your toughness, because you're able to express yourself to someone else, and that let me know right there you're strong, stronger than I mean, because I thought to myself that because I was holding my pain in, that actually made me weaker. But being able to let it out and say, well, that was the hardest thing, letting it out. So, I let it out. And a lot of times, people in my circle, they'll say, go ahead, let it out, and trust me, you can tell me all you want to. I'm letting you know I have. I've let it out, for now, at least 5 to 7 years, I've been letting it out. You just don't
Yes.
see it a lot of times. And I don't have a problem with you seeing it. It's just, right now, the way my body's trained, it does it. It does it when it knows to do it, and that's usually when I'm alone. And that don't make it right, but that's just the way I'm moving right now.
Yeah.
But if I ever get to the point where I know I'm feeling depressed or anything of that nature, that's when I know for a fact it's time for me to go seek help, from elsewhere. And if it's because I don't want to have clouded judgment,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, because I love you, I don't want you to have it. And
I
because
appreciate that. Vice
me,
versa.
I just deal with just a wife. That's important, but you got kids, and they're gonna need you more than you need them,
Yeah.
in a sense. Like, you need them obviously to get through, what you're going through, but they're gonna need you long, 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 time, and
Yeah.
I know you're gonna be there for them, man. So, do
And
what
I
we
think
talking
too,
about.
I think a lot of the bowlers, don't realize the motivation that they give off to, um, and helping it. Like I never really told. I think I told Greg this, but watching him and his sons bowl, now Landon and Lewis, watching him and his son bowl, Leon and Leon the second, you know,
Yeah,
like, I don't think people realize, even Jacob and his dad,
yeah,
I don't think people realize, that is motivating. Like I can't wait to be able to bowl with my son, my daughter.
yeah.
I can't wait,
Good.
to be able to bowl with my grandkids. As I see, JoJo and his grandfather. I think Sump went back home a couple of weeks ago and bowled with his family. I love seeing stuff like that. It's very motivating. Um,
Greg, and Xavier.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
they
it's it's
actually
beautiful
I
to
bowled
watch.
with Lil Zay. Greg subs for us, and man, I don't have no problem saying, "Hey, Greg, can you bowl for me?" So that you could, you get those moments with your kids,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, like that.
I mean, I don't have to tell you, but he's all about his kids. So,
Yeah,
but like you guys are, I can't say that I see y'all move and the way y'all move for y'all kids. It's very inspiring. It's just one of those things. You just be like, man, I wish, wish I had that, but
yeah,
I don't. But at the same time, just know that someone's watching, man,
yeah. Someone's
and
watching. Yep.
someone's watching, and whoever that is, a young father out there, all you guys want to, what I consider to see good dads. You can look at Greg and Leon, these guys, Damon, his
Hmm.
boys, the way he's always there for them. Uh, he's, yourself, Trill. If I'm forgetting anybody, forgive me. Again, I'm gonna tell you like
Yeah,
this, charge it to my mind and not my heart, because I know who you are. I just, right now I'm tired. I had a long day, man. A lot of traveling today, so. But at the end of the day, um, I love you, brother, and I do want you to uh, start, and I'll join you with this. But looking out for ourselves,
yeah,
and not saying we don't have to change who we are as far as caring about others and doing for others, making sure they're happy. But uh, we definitely want to look out for each other, look out for ourselves, and make sure we're good, and then move forward with making sure everybody else around us is good too.
right.
And I think what'll happen is we'll be here much longer than we'll be here a long time, man. Uh, we don't know where mental health can take us. You
Right.
Stress causes a lot of things. It can cause a lot of things. What you guys don't know is I was I had reached a point where you know I was stressing, and I had some complications or what have you that led me to do some things to take care of myself. And I got a little bit overweight because of stress, and
Hmm.
the things that I had going on in life.
Yeah,
Obviously my
it ain't nothing
mom.
like
So
nothing like that doctor reading that scale, boy.
yeah,
Boy.
man, and that woke me up. I literally, man, I literally stopped bowling for 3 weeks straight. I was like, the hell with this, I gotta go take care of myself. And I told my teammates on the spot, literally right there. I said, I'm out for 3 weeks. I'm gonna get my sub. I made a phone call. I ran over to Claudia and I said, hey, I need you to sub for me the next 3 weeks. She can only do two of them, but hey, okay, fine. Call Alvin. And then I reached out to Gigi. Hey, I'm gonna need a sub, for the next 3 weeks, because at the end of the day, it's a sport and it's going to be here
Yeah.
with or without us, and we gotta go take care of ourselves. First and foremost. So I want you to do that. For us, not just myself, but I need you to do that for you and and that little girl right there too, man. So
Yeah, like I
uh,
said, it's
yeah,
tough. Like I haven't
definitely do it.
seen. Like I know y'all always see me. I think I haven't seen her since when we saw each other Tuesday, and then I was out of town. And man, it's tough, man. It's tough with them because when they got to go back to their mom, they like that's like they wake up out they sleep, and if they see me, they ready to go. I want to go to daddy house.
Yeah,
So it's tough because she don't throw temper tantrums until it's time to go back.
yeah.
And it's
Well,
no
that's
and
it.
it's and don't get it twisted. It's no slight on her mom.
No,
It's just that absentee. Like you know there's when they're this age, they know there's a mommy and a daddy, and they know when someone's
yeah,
missing. And it's tough. And it's tough on me to see that.
yeah. I can
You know,
imagine.
because you love these little ones. They do. They bring joy, man. But it's like I said, I'm 18 years full custody. Don't get me wrong. My daughter did go live with her mom in her
Right.
high school, but it wasn't like this. Like this is a lot of cruelness going on. So it's even tougher when you don't understand. Because I'm the type of person I gotta understand. Like if it'll kill me if I like if me and you have a falling out and I don't know why, it will irk my
Yeah.
nerves. It will irk my nerves. Like we gotta have a conversation. I gotta know why. The reason why is because, like we were just talking earlier, as men, yes, that's yours. We're fixers. Let me know so I can fix it. Let me know so I can fix it. And I think the pain as a man, I think one of the worst pain as a man is a situation that you may have caused but you can't fix. Um, so when you're dealing with even like your relationships, man, I was never one to take my relationship for granted. People in the bowling alley can tell you. I've had situations that come up in the bowling alley and people say stuff. Hey man, I'm not in. I'm in a relationship. I'm not. So like when they heard, and I don't care who knows. So there was a situation, um, and me personally, I think, and what I'm learning now, I think she was looking for an out. Um, People nowadays don't know how to stick with you. So right now, she got her out. So she's been out. We've been out of this relationship for 2 years. But me mentally, like men, when we love, we love hard. So the love never went nowhere. But the realization of you never had what you thought you had. Because if you
Right.
did, they wouldn't have gave up that easy. So it's dealing with that as a man of, did I fail this little one? Did I did am I doing everything I could to rebuild, or is this worth rebuilding? And like you said, counseling. This is the only legit place I can may not even find the answer, but know how to deal with whatever answer I may find. You know what I mean? Um, before I was able to get help, I'm in the men out there. You have to be okay with not being okay, because that's how it starts. Once you get there, Hold on, somebody wants me to put on my headset. But once we get there, um, like you said, then you're able to get it out because once you realize you're not okay, and working through it is not okay, bowling through it is not okay, going through the motions is not okay. Like I said, I'll be in places for hours and don't realize time has passed. You know, like because you're just going through the motions. You're just trying to be strong, but sometimes being strong is being weak. Being weak doesn't necessarily mean you're not strong.
Right.
Being being weak and vulnerable means I'm man enough to get help when I can recognize help. Because I'm gonna tell you, gentlemen, when that depression it starts to turn into pain, and then you start looking at coping, and then you start looking at things to ease the pain. I'm
Right.
not gonna lie to you. This is the first. I don't like saying this on camera. I smoke a lot of weed,
Right.
and I smoke a lot because the weed does have a common mechanism to
Yeah.
it. And a lot of times before I step in that bowling alley,
Yeah.
I gotta smoke, and
Right. Right.
and what that does is that erases all of this, and it gets me calm and
Right.
gets me able to deal with people, deal with life. But
Right.
that is not the proper way I should be dealing with it.
Yeah.
If I want to smoke, it shouldn't be because I'm trying to erase a feeling,
Yeah.
you know. Because don't get
That
me
part.
wrong, marijuana does have a lot of health benefits. It definitely
Right.
is a pain relief for me,
Right. Right.
especially someone who don't like taking pills. Um,
Right.
I don't like taking pills because I'm scared. Um, I had an incident. Oh, and let me say, too, the depression turns into pain. The pain turns into anger. The anger is what gets you in trouble.
Right.
Um, I'm
Well.
gonna be I'm gonna be honest with you. I was in a relationship moving when I moved to Georgia. I moved with somebody. Um, I was dealing with some pain, but it wasn't what I'm dealing with now in the capacity. Um, and I felt disrespected. And there was an incident at a Golden Corral that turned real bad. My daughter was there. My daughters have never seen me upset, far as to the point where I'm moving furniture. And today, that day was a day, and you don't understand until you see someone fearful that has no choice but to join you because of that depression. I'm only telling this story because I'm trying to help the next person understand that this can get dangerous. Is I had an incident where I tore up a Golden Corral, and then in the process of me tearing it up, I had to tell my daughter, "Let's go, let's get in the car." Can you imagine somebody doing something like that and then telling you, "Let's go," and you have no choice but to go with them?
Right.
And as I'm riding in a car and I'm reflecting on what happened, and I look in that back and I see that little girl, and I'm like, I just made this little girl get in a car with me after what I just did. She is
He's probably
probably
terrible.
back there terrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to go get
I,
help.
right. 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 Because she don't know if I'm next. You know what I'm saying? So.
Or just I don't know if that situation
Right.
turns into police getting called, turns
Yep.
into breaking news. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So the help isn't always for you,
Mm-hmm.
even though it is
Right.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's many people around you that are scared,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them don't know how to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
And counseling is the way where you be able to help your family more than you will ever know. Because, like Darren just said, the bottom line is they want us here.
Yeah.
in full functioning capacity. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
um, I don't want my daughters visiting me in jail.
Right. Right.
I don't want my daughter visiting me in a gravesite or at a
Right.
funeral. I don't.
Right.
I don't. That's not what I want.
Right.
Uh, so, like he said, counseling. I'm definitely getting on it tomorrow. It was already on my to do list because,
Yeah.
like I told y'all, it's been dark for a while.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. Don't
yeah,
procrastinate on it.
yeah.
Definitely,
It's
definitely move, bro.
yeah,
Because
it's
again,
like
we don't. You don't know. You might have another Golden Corral episode.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And not to make light of the situation, but
yeah,
like you said, you don't ever want to do that again. And you don't know if when and how that stuff can, you know, pop off. At any moment when we keep, just suppressing it, and not doing anything about it. So, in your case, and it's not much different than mine. You deal with it how you dealt with it, and
right.
you dealt with it, and like you just said, in a marijuana way. You got people out there deal with it in other ways.
Hmm.
Whatever our ways are, we gotta try to find another avenue if it's gonna be harmful to our health. Physical health, and of course that calms you down, but at the same time, it has it
It
has
don't
it
erase the
has an effect.
problems.
Yeah, it does not erase it. It just, all it did was just kind of just push it to the back again, which is
Hmm.
what we tend to do when we're trying to make everybody else happy, and we keep pushing our little situations to the back. And it's just sometimes you got to say, well, let me do something for me, and not feel like um, I'm
What's
being
up?
selfish, and that makes you feel guilty because I said, okay, I'm doing it for me now, but we don't want to do that. We want to just kind of say, okay, it's okay to be selfish sometimes, and
Yeah,
especially when it comes to our mental health in particular. It's like I got to do this for me, and if you respect me, then you'll
you
let me.
understand. Yep.
So
Yeah,
I
I
think I'm
gotta do
sure
it
I'm
for
sure
me.
your family is they can see this stuff, sense this stuff, and they know, just like and the first thing is, it's like anything else, you got to admit it as a problem first. You
Yes.
got to do that, and then for you to say this on a live feed that will be out here until you delete it, you just admitted that, hey, I need to see somebody.
Hmm.
So do yourself the justice and go do it. You know what I'm saying? And just put us aside, whatever that time frame is.
Yeah.
If you could, and honestly, you could do both at the same time. I know I did, so I encourage any of us that are going through whatever they're going through, and just want to talk to someone that's not in that circle, or not in that arena that you live in. And like I said, they'll put a lot of light on it, on your situation. I promise you that, because they're going to tell you, and if they're doing their job, you're gonna hear some things, you may not want to hear, or you
Oh
may not have
yeah.
never heard, but you're gonna hear it, and you've been there, so I'm not talking
Yeah.
to
It's gonna
someone
be
that
revealed. Yeah.
hasn't done this before. So I do, I hope we're touching someone tonight, with
Yes.
this. You definitely got to um, take care of your mental health. It doesn't will make you crazy if you don't do anything about it. That's what makes you crazy.
Oh man.
And,
Yes.
you got to do something about it. You just
Yes. Cause
otherwise,
I'm.
to me, if you don't do anything about it, you
Yeah.
really are. And
Cause
I don't
even
want to take
even though
life.
they're your thoughts, that don't necessarily mean they're the right thoughts.
That's right. That's right.
Cause it
Yeah.
gets dark. Trust me. Man. Y'all will be surprised at the stuff that comes
Yeah.
into my head, far
Yeah.
as a day to day, because it's I can openly say it's like I was looking to build a family, and it's always painful when you don't succeed in the way you want to succeed. um, because like I think people remember me from high school. I didn't give a damn about a job. I knew I was going to get a job. I knew, but this is what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a father. I wanted to be a
Right.
husband. Like that's
Right.
that's growing up watching Family Matters, The Fresh Prince, The Cosby Show. Those were some of my favorite shows, and one thing that
Good
they
show.
all had was big families.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I didn't grow up with. So I know part of my counseling is identifying the family the family you wanted, you have. Like I said, you, Daryl, Marvell, Dana, Nick, Ek, Garland. It just didn't look like what I intended it to look like, but they are there, you know.
Right.
And it took me a while to realize that, all family don't have to be blood, but
No.
there are people in here. I know there's people that care about me.
Yeah.
I know there's people that look to want me to health wise. Because, like you said, it was plenty of times in a bowling alley. I remember, I remember having a conversation with you and Christina about joining the UBA 2 years ago,
No.
and we were at Lilburn, and you
Yeah.
was in the pro shop for something.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. We were in a pro. You was in the pro shop for something, and I remember talking to you about joining the Outsiders, what the UBA was. This was when it was fresh. I think it was it was an early year tour stop.
Yeah.
And y'all didn't know. Right after that, I saw I was in the I was in an incident where something happened. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was, but it
Mm-hmm.
had something to do with the team. It had something to do with my family.
Yeah.
And I remember, Marvell was our secretary. Daryl was our president. I think. Trying to think, was he there? I can't remember. But something happened, and I saw Marvell's wife right after finished talking to y'all, and she gave me a hug, and I melted and bawled like a baby in her arms.
Wow.
And I can't remember what had happened. It was something with the team, something because I remember because it was we had just got Demetrius. It was his first stop. It was EK's first stop. And I think a lot of people was upset that I had added them, or it was something stupid. And then dealing with
Yeah.
family stuff, something like I can't remember, but whatever it was, Marvell's wife, I think she probably had snot and boogers for the rest of her day on her shoulders because I bawled. And
Yeah.
I say that to say, like, I do recognize that I do have a family in this community.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do have people in this community that cares
Right.
because everybody can't get me like that.
Right.
you know,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
only trusting her, trusting
Yeah.
him,
You was
and
able to let it out.
knowing they understood, or
Right.
even forget the understanding,
Mm-hmm.
because knowing that they saw me. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times with the outsiders and with these bowling things, and you kind of touched on this a little earlier, we are so selfless that I get a lot of praise even for this show, and it's weird to me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it's uncomfortable. The outsiders, man, you did a great job with how y'all built. Hey, man, it's all them. It's still uncomfortable. And that's a mental health thing too. Not being able to accept, compliments. you
Yeah.
know, as a man, oh man, it ain't me, I got a team, but sometimes we gotta let people love on us, you know, and I appreciate everyone who said a thank you, who said, they enjoy the show, who said anything nice about the Outsiders. Because y'all already know when somebody says something bad about the Outsiders, I'm ready to kick it. I'm front line kicking in the door. You know,
You the army right
you
there by
know,
itself. One
yeah,
man
yeah.
army.
So like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you say anything bad. I'm gonna step up when you say something bad, but it's hard for me to step up when you say something good because like you said, we're so selfless, and
Yeah.
sometimes as men, and I'm glad that there is a men's mental health month because
Yeah.
now we get to not just celebrate ourselves, but we get to have these conversations now,
Right.
and have these conversations to the point where whoever's watching this later on can say,
Right.
"Oh, okay,
Right.
I can get help too." Like I was
That's right.
talking about
And
on
they should.
yes, because I was
They should.
talking about before you came on. Out here, there was a man that jumped off the bridge in Spaghetti Junction on Father's Day,
Mm. Oh.
and I think when people, I don't think people could that it was Father's Day, and he did that, and that showed me how much hurt is in this world, how much undealt with problems is in this world, how many. Why are you shaking that like you shaking dice? You should sitting there like this, like where you learn that from? But 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 but
If you
it's
look at
so
the
much
cube.
pain and there's so many people that's dealing with real issues that are afraid because there wasn't many safe places out here.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you, men, as men, I'll be 40 in October. We do have safe places out here.
Oh yeah.
We do have people that will listen, like Darren said, without judgment. There are counselors
Yeah.
that are paid professionals. Your
Yeah.
friends are they yes, they love you, but they are not professionals.
Right. And
And
it's not expensive as one may
no, it's
think.
not.
Even if let's just say you don't even have insurance, man. If you're a member of a church, they offer it. Your church can give you that.
Mhm.
I think one of my first sessions was at my church, Elizabeth Baptist,
Yeah.
uh, a long time ago. So, um, again, I'll sit here before you and say that sometimes we do need to talk to people outside our circles
Yes.
to help us get through whatever it is that we're going through. But you know what, man? I was just sitting here thinking about something. I when was this last year? I don't know what it was, but when we was in Houston,
Mhm.
you remember that? Man, I don't know what you I don't well maybe you had smoked your weed, I don't know. But but that's now that guy right there, you
Yeah,
know
he
you know
was.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That guy right there,
yeah, he was
you
bowling his ass off out there in Houston.
and you had fun, man. Like
Yeah,
you showed I was like, whoa. I
see,
literally, because a lot of times I don't say anything, and I know that you hurt. A lot of times I just kind of, again, I flow how people flow, and a lot of times I was just like, okay, I know he's hurting, and I again we all say, well, hey,
yeah,
I'm here for you anytime, but at the same time, you don't want to push on
right,
people
right,
about it. And it's kind of like, okay, they'll come to you, right? And then I just feel like we gotta do better at saying at that time, that we see it, it's okay to come up to
Yeah,
me, say, "Hey, you good? You
yeah,
know, I'm here for you." You know what I'm saying? And I
yeah,
and I and I and sometimes I felt like, that's where I failed you, because I saw what I saw in Houston, and I'm just gonna tell you, man, if you weren't there, I was I was there, but it's those that weren't there. That was a trail that I could tell this man was like, "Thank you, Jesus."
like,
It was like
yeah.
he
It's
was like,
funny because I don't think like a lot of people don't know the responsibility I carry. Um,
"Yeah,
to my father's own is I got a problem with taking other people's problems on. So I carry a lot. Like a lot of people don't like far as family members and back home and like I have businesses on top of helping people start their business, on top of helping people pay their rent, helping people with whatever issues they have, whatever, and I ain't even talking about my house yet. I'm just talking about responsibilities that I've taken on. And shouldn't have, but I did, because that's just the type of person I am. But when I go out of town like that, Houston, Vegas, I am thankful that I'm able to leave all of that where it's at for the weekend. I'm here for 3 days. I'm going to be here in a moment. And I forgot TikTok. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love TikTok. Can't nobody say nothing bad to me about TikTok. But I know how to create my algorithm. So when I'm on TikTok, I see a lot of motivational and funny stuff. Um, like if you don't know how to control your algorithm and you see a lot of crazy stuff, whatever type of stuff you want to see, make sure you like it and follow it through, and sometimes even leave a comment, because then they will repeatedly show it to you. So like that's why like I don't know if you ever, man, you can ask people who I send messages to on TikTok. I always tell them, if you ever have a bad day, just go to your inbox and look at my TikToks I done sent you. But it was one TikTok in particular that I saw, and I kind of adopted it. And it said, wherever you're at, be there. Be in that moment. If you're with your kids, though nothing else matters but your kids. If I choose to do this podcast, do the podcast, and then handle everything afterwards.
oh, okay,
If you are bowling and you go into that bowling alley with it, be at the bowling alley. Everything if you have to do something and worry about something outside of it, then you shouldn't be in there. You should be worried about where. So I kind of adopted that, because it was a lot of times, you be out with someone and y'all on your phone, and stuff like that. So it's like, yo, if you out with your girl, be with your girl. If I'm in Houston and I'm supposed to be having a good time and we're bowling, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm worried about. Can't nobody call me. Don't even if I see your number and you ain't called me in a while, I'll meet you back once I get back in town. So that is something I've adopted that I'm thankful that I've adopted, because it definitely helps. Um, especially with bowling, because a lot of times when I am bowling, it's a countdown to where I got to come home, and that's a dark
yeah,
place. You know,
yeah,
it's a countdown to when I got to go back to handle this problem. Countdown to when I got to go change these brakes. It's always a to-do list. There's always something.
yeah, yeah.
So I had to stop doing that, because it's like used to be like, all right, man, hurry up and bowl. We got to get out of here. Now it's like, hey, man, take your time.
The
I'm
fun's
here.
over,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Now it's like I'm here. Like, take your
Yeah.
time. Like, hey, I don't. Hey, man, they taking forever. Hey, man, you came to the bowling alley. You knew what to expect. You here.
Hey, well, shoot, try golf then.
You know, I want to, man. I want to. I've been trying to get
Yeah,
somebody to
I'm
take
now
me out there.
that I can honestly say now that's therapeutic for real, bro.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was suggested for me to go actually start that a long time ago, and I waited, but
So,
that was one of the things, believe it or not, that the first counselor did for me, and that was say, listen, something that will teach you patience and
hmm
help you with your mentality is that one because you have to focus on so many different things, variables that will help you with life, whether you believe it or not. And then you meet a whole different, um, just 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 different people, different types of people, different walk, just you know. Just a
all
crowd.
kinds
It's just a
of people.
different crowd. Nothing against bowlers or what have you. It's just golf is so different, man, because you're out there with nature, and
Yeah,
and it's something you can do by yourself. And
fresh air.
sometimes, yeah, fresh air, man. That's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge, man, because everybody need fresh air, and then you can play bad as you want to play. It's just or good as you want to be. It's just as long as you put the effort in. But
right.
it's definitely a sport where you get to unwind. Whether you're frustrated or happy with your results or whatever they are. Uh, I watch people beat beat their clubs in the ground, beat break
Shoot, we
break
had
their
we had
club.
one bowler to be nameless
That's
tear
what.
his damn shoulder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lane. I should be going out with. I should be going out with he and Taylor here at some point. Oh, I want to. You know what? I'm gonna use this avenue right here. Listen. So I threw something out there at Randy, probably 2 weeks ago, and I'll see him. I think I want to say I'll definitely be out there this tour stop. But I talked about from the wood to the green,
Mm.
some kind of event, um, more like East Side versus West Side, UBA style. This is going to be something golf related. I don't know if we're going to do golf and bowling, but I'm going to break our district down in half, and that's going to be a East Side versus West Side. Obviously, in our house, Southern Listed House, we share that with Full Throttle.
Right.
So I'm just putting it out there in that van. We'll just kick them to the West Side,
Yeah.
but our East Side will include your group, the
The
outsiders, because
iPad.
obviously your home center is on the east side. So we're going to be looking for golfers at some point after this
That'd be a
season's
dope. I
over.
would be out there.
All right, we're gonna do that. I kind of put a filler out there with some people, Greg Black, Damon, Vicente, some people that I just know play for sure. Um,
I think Tyler
uh,
Barty plays.
Yeah, so I don't know, where his home. I think their home house going to be on the west side because he's with Top Chef, correct?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It,
What is their home house going to be?
which one is their home house?
Good question.
Yeah. So
Good question.
so anyway, so Randy and I'll get together and work this out. And this listen, man, it's gonna be male and female. It ain't gonna matter. We're gonna hook this thing up, man, and hopefully we can work the details out for everybody. But we'll do a raise your hand type, thing coming up here shortly. No details have been worked out, so but at least I want to throw it out there right now, just to kind of get a feel for how everybody feeling. Good to see that you was excited to hear that. We try to do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I'm all, like I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been trying to get to the golf course for a minute.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll do something from the wood to the
yeah, she,
grass, whether it involve both sports to create. But I was thinking along some kind of Ryder Cup type setting or something, because I think for me, I think best ball is probably going to be good for everybody. That way, we can mix it up with good
right, right,
golfers,
right,
with bad
right,
golfers, and the bad golfer don't feel so bad. They
right.
can benefit from the good golfer shot, and sometimes the good golfer can benefit from the bad golfer shot. So it gives everybody a chance to feel good about their golf game as well. But uh, I get with him, and I only say him because I know he got a group of guys he go out with on a regular
Yeah,
basis. And I'll get with him on that, and then I'll just get a feel for our East Side people. You know, the Lilburn, the Conyers, uh, you know, those but the Stars and Stripes people,
right.
whoever that's in the UVA that that's on this side of 75, 85, uh, the east side of it and the west side of 75, 85 connector. So that's how we're gonna break the city down. And then Forest Park has two UVA teams in it, and we're just gonna take. I want to take the Southern listeners to the east side and put full throttle to the west side. But just because, personally, I deal with a lot of guys over here on the east side more
Right.
so. Um, that's how we're gonna play. Hopefully, it turns out to be something great, man.
I think it
And then
will. Yeah, I think
maybe
that's
UVA can just pick it up. I don't know, but at the end of the day,
because I know
I
somebody
want I
keeps
want
suggesting the softball game too.
yeah, I just want the Deep South District to start something
Yeah,
that is happening that
we can still
will
fellowship
just
with it.
exactly. And I'll be honest with you, my man. Um, and no disrespect to the club that I'm with, but I did want to join your group back then. The only hang up was, and I think I told you what that was, and that was
Mm.
just I just didn't want to travel, man. But
Oh yeah,
and then when it came here, I had developed close relationships with the team that I am on, but I have much respect for what you're doing over there
oh
with the
yeah.
club.
Trust me, I foreseen this coming. I was trying to get all the good bowlers before the the other team. I
Yeah, and
foreseen
I
this
appreciate,
coming.
yeah, I appreciate the
Oh
the
yeah,
respect and that you have for me as a bowler, but
you and
you
Christina.
also have shown it the same respect for what you have for me as a man, and I appreciate that more than anything. And just
Yeah.
know that I'll be here, and I respect you just the same. Um, and that's just what it is, man. It's about
Right.
people respecting one another, and
Yes,
we
yes,
gotta, whether we're family members or not, if the world can just, find a way to love one another, we won't have the problems that we're having. To be honest with you,
understand, understand.
yeah, we gotta, we need more people that'll just, not, just try not to be as selfish. Even if
Yes,
you just not be as selfish, just, try to put somebody else before yourself, and you'll feel good about that. I promise you that more times than not.
yeah, and
You'll
we're
be able
not
to say,
talking to the point where you're killing yourself now.
right,
For other
right,
people, we
right. Don't set yourself up for failure
don't let people
by
use
any
you.
means.
Right.
Yeah, don't set yourself up for failure, but at the same time, it's okay to do something good for someone else to have a smile, because we don't know. Just like you guys have been around Martrell and myself, you may not have known our pain,
Yeah.
what we're going through, and you've been around it, and we kiki and kaka with you, and cried when we got in the car, or cried when we got home, or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. But we hurt, just like you hurt,
Yeah.
and it's okay to let that out however you want to let it out. But my suggestion would be to seek some
See,
legal help, counseling, and just try to get that help, and it'll help you get through whatever it is that you're going through.
yeah,
And it's okay to talk it out. Just try not to keep it inside too long, because it'll cause some stress and some
definitely.
body issues.
Yeah, definitely a different perspective is definitely a blessing. It's an eye opener, and it also helps you understand people. Like
Oh
one
yeah,
thing that counseling has done for me is I let people be people. I understand what they are in their moment, in their time, and I don't try to change them because I am them in a different situation. You are the person you are talking to, just with a different situation or different circumstance, But we all dealing with something, and
yeah. We
and
are.
yeah,
We
we
are.
everyone. So
I mean, to be honest with you, that's why I went ahead and came on here. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
I appreciate
yeah, I was
that, man.
able. Yeah, I
Last
just
minute,
came on
well,
because
real last second.
very last minute. I
Uh,
looked, dude. I was like, uh, honestly, was should be transparent. I was about to get in the shower and lay down
yeah,
for real. Like I said,
about
I
to
a lot
about to
of
do the
traveling
same
today.
because I had my first softball game after retirement. Thought I
Oh
was
shoot,
retired. Um,
you'll be sore tomorrow, but
oh no, I'm sore
you
now. First,
oh you are.
first, first defensive play. First of all, let me man.
What position?
I
What
was so
position?
hot. So everybody knows when I was a speed demon. So I was outfield. I was grass. I'm chasing everything. Man, then there was a point in time where I was like, people younger than me started joining the team. So I started migrating to catcher. Found my gym in catching. I like being a
What?
catcher. It was okay.
Oh,
Because on my team as the catcher, I am what the shortstop would be because I can see
okay.
the whole field.
Right.
So I'm what the shortstop would normally be on my team.
Mm-hmm.
So the end tail of my seasons, it was catcher. So today I go to my position, catcher. And the old boy was like, "Oh no, I'm the catcher." I'm like, "Oh no, you're not." And then I was like, then I thought about it. I was like, you know what, Trail? You just came back, first game back. I said, where you want me? He said, go to right field.
Yeah.
First goddamn play of the goddamn game. This
Right field,
motherfucker hit one to right. So
and you went
I
100
tried.
yards
I tried.
fast.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, all right, keep it in front of you. I tried. I probably could have caught it, but in my mind, I'm like, let me judge it first.
Right.
It's been a while since I've been out here. Let me get a judge. Keep it in front of you. Kept it in front of me. Fine. The very next fucking play,
Mm-hmm.
this bug streams one to right field. Oh, I got that. Oh, my hip been screaming ever since. My hip is
You was
killing me
running,
right now.
you was running 1,000 miles
Okay.
per hour.
No. It was more like 10, but it felt like a
Then
1,000 miles. Man,
in your mind, 1,000 miles per
my
hour.
hip.
Yeah.
Hey, if Dave is watching this, I'm going to go practice tomorrow to see if I can still bowl Saturday. Because
Man,
this
Saturday,
Joker,
what you got going Saturday?
the YN the Sumps tournament, the
Oh,
YN versus
yeah.
the
I'll be
OGs.
there, and I'm a
So
man up with my man Philip. So I'll
yeah,
be there.
it's my
Uh,
right hip. So luckily they my
okay,
plant hip. But the
okay.
way she keep jumping on this hip,
You about to be?
boy, I need to get some hot
So
water quick. Cause
yeah. So get your Epsom salt bath,
oh
man,
yeah,
and
cause this Joker
yeah,
is screaming.
that'll
I
get
ain't
you
gonna
ready.
lie to you. I did go
See,
three
the
for four
YNs
today
don't
though.
know nothing about the Epsom salt bath, do they?
Yeah. I did go 3 for 4, and I went back to catcher.
What? You went back
Yeah.
to catcher?
Yeah, the next inning.
Okay.
I said, "Hey
Did
man,
y'all win? Did
nah,
y'all
nah,
win?
nah. We had,
Uh,
we had what we did with. You would have thought I was bowling. Was playing with bowlers today because game started at 7:30. At 7:10, people started backing out. So we played
what?
8 on 10 today.
No.
Why I
Ooh.
was running so hard because we only had 3 outfielders.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was perturbed about that. So we only
Man.
had 8. So we were down 15-3, and then we made it to 15-5 to to force another inning because we almost got run ruled.
I was
But then
about
we
to
ended up
say you sound
then
like
we
you was
ended
about to
up
get run.
then we ended up losing 10-15. So
Mm.
the we figured out a defense. You thought you was gonna fall, but we we figured out a defense and started hitting. Well, they started hitting. I went 3 for 4, so that was a bright side. That bat still work.
That's good, man. I
The
mean,
legs don't work. Cause as soon as I got on base, hey, runner,
how you gonna call a runner? Wait,
runner.
first of all, let's talk about this. How you gonna call a runner, man? You got
Hey,
you got
hey,
8 players. What do you?
hey, and they all hey 8 and 5 of them was under 30. Runner.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
YN. Come on out
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. 5 of them
We need you right here.
was
We
under
need you right
30.
here. Yeah. They actually don't mind. They
Right.
don't mind.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So,
They
but I
don't mind.
appreciate you for coming on, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap
Okay.
up, man.
Okay.
Like I said,
Hey,
appreciate.
thanks for having me.
I know you had a lot going on. I
I
know,
do, and we good, man. I don't mind
I know
taking
this was
time out.
last
That's
second.
just it's therapeutic for me, brother.
Yes, yes, very,
And that's
very.
just
Got some
real. I
tears
needed
out.
it myself. So I want to thank you for it, and I will. To be honest with you, I cherish all my moments, man, and this is definitely going to be one I'll hang on to as well. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that sent out their condolences and
Yeah,
good wishes and all that good stuff. Those things mattered, and like we said, Trail and myself, we both know that the days that are ahead of me and him are sometimes just unknown, and um, as they come, we'll move as they come. And
yeah,
personally, I think that if it requires me to seek help, then that's what I'll do, and I trust that like you said, if it requires you to need seek help, you're gonna do the same. um, you know, Definitely do it for yourself. Again, we do a lot for others, so we gotta do something for ourselves too. So
yes,
make sure you take care of yourself, my brother. You got my
yes,
phone
sir.
number, and again, hit me up anytime you feel the need, because it is important to get things off your chest, no matter what it is.
No
Um,
matter what it is.
I'm trying to find it. I always try to find a song and stuff, but uh, your, your secret is safe with me. I ain't gonna sing out loud, but whatever it is, man, and
Yeah,
we'll just leave it, out there if you want to get it out. I'm no counselor, but I'll listen.
I
I will
appreciate
listen.
that, and vice versa.
Yes, of course. So,
Most of y'all know I don't work a 9 to 5, so hey,
oh well. Thanks
uh,
for sharing that with me, because
yeah, yeah.
you probably gonna have an hour conversation somewhere down the road here.
Oh yeah. Like
I'll
I
call you.
said, I'm retired.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So
I'll definitely give you a holler, man, and we'll discuss some stuff, and
yes, sir.
I will actually, I'm gonna need your help too, so we'll talk about it.
All right. I appreciate y'all. Once again, I'm gonna be on Saturday. I'm gonna do a recap of the tour stop,
Cool.
um, and a prediction show. We could do that. I could do that because the tour stop would be Sunday. Dang, I forgot.
Right.
So we'll do a recap of the last. I'll do a recap of the last and the tour stop Sunday. It's
Right.
a
Well,
chance
to
I
my
might do
homeboy Lamont,
for Friday.
I just want to say to my homeboy Lamont, I like Lamont. That's my guy. I call
Oh
him
yeah.
Champ all the time. We
Oh
we have
yeah.
this competition with each other. Champ. Dun, 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 dun. We walk in the buildings. Dun, 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 dun. But but hey man, we're trying to catch Alex, so we're gonna have to do some things. We
Yeah, that Alex. I
hey,
saw
we're
his
at the
post
bottom. We're
today.
bottom feeders. So at the end of the day, hey, look, 8 sound better than 9. So
Oh, you talking about the
look for
doubles league or the singles league?
no. I'm talking about for UBA period.
Oh,
8 sound.
you be
Look, hey,
oh.
look, 8 sounds better than 9. So at the end of the
Hey,
day, that means my boy Lamont better come with it this week.
hey,
We're trying to catch that 8th place.
hey, you might
Get
catch
the
Alex.
drag
Shoot,
on.
I ain't gonna lie, you
Huh?
might catch the ones because
Oh man, yeah, that's what we're aiming for. Like I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
just
yeah.
hey, get from
Oh, don't
down
worry,
there
you'll
to
catch him.
down.
We'll make sure you'll catch him.
Oh, that's right, that's right. This
Yeah,
on you. This
yeah,
on you.
yeah,
I need you to do
yeah,
what you do.
yeah.
At the end of the day, and
Season
but
was a
it's all
letdown, but
fun.
we still made a roll off though. Hey, if you
Yeah,
ain't doing nothing, Conyers the 29th, the roll off
yeah. Hey,
for
listen,
team
my plans
rankings.
were to be there. You said the 29th, right?
Yeah,
We may be back, and if not, you know why.
yeah,
I
yeah.
am. I'll be resting my mom on the 28th. So
Okay.
uh, yeah, so there's a good chance I could be back, and it may not be, but more than likely I'll be back. But we'll just see how I feel about getting out.
Okay. Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
that's the kicker. How am I
Yeah.
gonna feel about getting out again? I don't know from
Hey,
day to day. But right now, my spirits are great. Thank you guys,
I'm coming.
and we're good.
All
And
right, let me go because let me get this little
thank you.
girl to bed.
All right.
But I appreciate y'all. Love all of y'all. Y'all enjoy. Have a great night.
Yes, sir. You too, man.